Hey guys, welcome to my next Devblog video on Nanatama Chronicle of Dungeon Maker, or as I like to call it, Dungeon Maker 3, as that is totally what it is. Alright, so our last video was back on the 29th of December 2024. Firstly, Happy New Year. Now, there's been several videos, I've done several improvements to my translation, and I'm over the moon about it, because I finally hit my goal, but that's spoilers. But anyway, we'll take you through, but I'll tell you that everything up until the point you now go to the ruins has finally been accomplished, so I have finally reached my goal. It was the first milestone that I wanted to get to. Anyway, so to take you back through what's happened so far. So back in the first videos, I had the research lab. I'm just speeding through this because I've already shown it. But I had the conversations here. There's like three of them. Three of them you have, I think? Yeah. Those three conversations here. But I've already got a save game, so it's skipping it. But there was a save game here, the interface for buying things at the market. That was translated previously. And I think we had the magic shop done. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did have that translated. Just in case, I don't remember if I showed that. I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, I'll just show it again. So here's the psychic store, so if you ever want to get your fortune told, or if you're not sure exactly where you need to proceed. Commonly in Dungeon Maker, the Dungeon Maker games, it's good to come here for advice, to hear what to do. Then one of the differences is, in this one they make you pay for it. So if you want to get specifics on like a fortune reading on a specific thing, you got to pay a fee. And then she reads your fortune. So anyway, I've got that bit translated. I could just show it actually. So if you pass through the door of destiny, time froze and will move again. At this point in time, it's pretty obvious what you gotta do anyway. I mean, even though the icons are not up there yet to go to the ruins. Alright, so that was where we're at. I'm pretty sure that's where we're up to at the end of the third devblog. Now, since then, the first thing I got to work on was the blacksmith store. I've got it called Smithy, just due to the size limitations in, kanji to English letters. Now, straight away, this guy's a bit of a... I'm just gonna say it. He's a bit of an asshole. Like, as in, straight away has a go at you. His absolute first line to you is like, "You look so weird." The actual kanji translation was, "You look so weird. If you're gonna be a customer, act like a customer." But due to the kanji size limitations, I couldn't put all that in there. So I just got, "You look so weird, act like a customer." And then he doesn't say much more after that. Just basically take good care of your weapon. So we've got the initial information pop-ups being translated. Again, remember, I know that is not how you spell buy, but the thing is that due to the size limitations, it's like, But anyway, you've got the tooltips down the bottom right-hand corner, so I would always say refer to that. Also, when I do release this, I'll be providing the big information doc that I've been putting together of like what everything in detail is. So from here, anyway, we can buy weapons if we want. If we say yes, then it takes us with the choice of either do like, because we've got the choice of dagger, short sword, spear, or short bow. If we say we want the dagger, if I click this, it'll go straight to the bag. If I click here, it'll go straight to your equipment, which takes us to another screen, where we then choose where we want to place said item. like equip the item, which the only ones you can place it to is the ones that are highlighted in white. So we can either do it to the first weapon slot or to the second weapon slot, which is what you switch to on the fly when you're in the dungeon. And many of these I'd already translated before, so it was just more just getting the bottom menus and stuff to be Englishy. Now, so say we don't want to buy a weapon, and say instead we want to buy some armor. It takes us here. Now, the full translation of that was like buckler shield or something, but again, I was limited to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So how do you say buckler shield in like five letters? I guess I could have done bk.sld or something. Oh no, bk.sd. I don't know. But anyway, I just did it like that. If someone ever does come in to assist me with this and adds in even half length text or something, or half fixed fonts or something, then I'll be able to totally implement this stuff in proper wording. But for now, this is what I'm limited to. So, as always, take what you see in this. Don't take it as the final product. This is more, I'm just trying to get this, like, a wave of Englishing everything, and then if someone else comes and polishes it up later, I don't really care, you know? I'm leaving full notes of what the actual proper translations are of everything. Most of the time, if I was to just have double the length available, oh my god, everything would be like so much more detailed. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. So, this one, we already did most of this in the previous one when I did the market, but from here you can sell items, and if you want to check them, here's one extra bit that I did since then. Now, I found out when I was in testing that I didn't have this translated. So if you check a whole set of items to sell, this extra pop-up comes up and says sell all items, you know, so I just have to translate that. So that does the weapon shop. Next is the chemist. In the previous 2 games it was called apothecary or something. Again, space limitations. Chemist fits, apothecary doesn't. So I have this nice girl here who's so if you're ever needing medical or medicinal type of items, you know, like healing items or status removing style things like removing poison and whatnot, this is where you would come. So she's quite simple, you know. It's just like, if you need medical kind of items, please come here to go get items. So from here, I translated the interface and an extra item that now pops up once you go to the shop: antidotes, which you need to removing poison effects, and then the S potion, which is like small potion, or just a potion that heals 100 HP. Okay, so that's the chemist. Now, next one is the major one. This one took me a while because it was a long conversation. And this leads up to the next stage in the game too, because after you do this, it unlocks the ruins and you can go there after that. So this is the build shop. And the in-game translation was material store, but in the previous 2 games, the materials, like the building material store, was always called the build shop, like and always with a dot after it. So that's why it's build shop. With all these things, I've tried to keep it always with the same name structure as what it is in the previous games for consistency. Might be I don't know, maybe it's just when they translated that that's what they went to go with. You know, like Resident Evil, how the actual translation of the Japanese is Biohazard, you know, but they just named it Resident Evil. Anyway, so when you go to the build shop, you speak to Frederick, the owner of the store, who, after a long conversation, and I'm speeding through this. This has been quite a lot of work over a lot of days to get everything up to this point done. Funny thing, so all these NPCs have their own unique personalities behind them. Like Frederick has an obsession with food even though they're an architect. They're always bringing up food all the time. So he hands you your first bunch of building materials that you need when you go off to the dungeon. So there's a series of conversations you can have with him. Not just that one, there's an extra one. And those are all the conversations that you can have with all the NPCs in town before heading off to the dungeon. Or the ruins, like the game calls it. So now that we've got some building materials, that opens up an additional menu option in our items. Now, if you remember in the previous video, I was surprised about that. I came in here like, oh, it's not on kanji anymore. Now it's in actual English. Well, kind of, in abbreviated. So now we have the additional option, building materials, or BM as I've got it in here. But then you got the tooltip, but down the bottom right, check build materials. And from here, this opens up an extra menu. So this is all being translated now. So now we have all of our basic building materials for when we choose to go off to the dungeon. Now with this, I have used, as close as I could, the translations that Dungeon Maker 2 used. So this is the beauty of having other games as reference. I get to, because sometimes I'll see the translation, the literal translation of what it says the descriptions of the items are, but then the descriptions in Dungeon Maker 2 did it in less words and much better, and added some details here and there. So anyways, we've got our basic corridor passage types kind of things. We have the rooms themselves, like 1D small room and guest room, which is an upgrade to that one. And we have the wood corridor, which is the wood upgrade for the passageways. We also have a rulebook entry for this, which is very short. Doesn't say very much. I don't think many people would read it, but the point I'm trying to get to is to just translate everything up until each stage of the game. I will at some point go through the rulebook, all of them, and do a better, it's such a mammoth undertaking. I haven't done any additional ones other than that one I just showed you. Just because I just wanted to get the game done to a point where you could go to the ruin. Because I just want to play this game. Anyway, so now that we have done this, now we have an additional option on the town screen for an additional place we can go. So now we can go to the ruins if we so choose to. So this brings up this menu, which previously was all in Japanese kanji. So now we have the option to go to the ruins with the tooltip. And we have this pop-up saying to go to the ruins. Now this is as far as the translation has gone. So that's what's done. So this is a major milestone in this project. Just to get this far, to have this stuff done. Yes, you're seeing Japanese, but I'm showing you what's to come. So now that we've done the first milestone, it's taken me... How long has it taken me? So I've been working on this since around the beginning of December. Somewhere around there. So it's taken me about a month, just under. Probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And we've gotten ourselves to the point where everything up to the dungeon itself is translated. God, that music sounds like Lufia 2. Anyway, so now that we're in the dungeon, or the ruins, to be specific. This takes me to my next milestone, which is to get everything done inside the... I just want to get it done, the whole portion before you go back to town. Just that. Because once you go back to town, there's probably going to be even more conversations and things I need to translate. But I want to get this translated. Because once this is done, the game is playable. To a degree. You know? Like, you'll be able to go through and know what you're doing. So, already now it's you know what you're doing when you're in town, but the meat of this game is here. So, this is where this is the next stage in things for me. So, when you go here, we get that first pop-up. You see can you see my mouse cursor? Yep. So, down here we've got the basic interface. Some of this is still carrying over the English, thankfully the English translation stuff from the previous two games, so they left that. That makes my life a little bit easier. We need to translate these things here. Now I'm guessing that's for command, so that'd be like, probably shorten that down, CMD or something. Or menu actually, menu, M-E-N-U, that'd fit, yep. That'd be menu, circle, what is circle? Oh, okay, and that changes the interface. Interesting. Okay. Alright. So, we have all these things that pop up there. Probably telling us, you know, I need to explore or something like that. But we also have now, let's see if we can find anything extra that wasn't there before. So, this now gives us an extra little information pop-up about magic use. That needs to be translated. The menu option, I mean the button prompts in the bottom right hand corner down here need to be translated. That's the easy stuff though. It's the more the pop-ups and the conversations and all that stuff. That's the stuff that takes ages. Doing menus and menu options is easy. It just sucks that I have to do abbreviated versions, that's all. Where I can, if I save a letter somewhere, I always use it somewhere else. Is there anything in here? Okay, so down the bottom, there's now far more options. Down the bottom section, down here, we have far more options available, all that need to be translated. So that needs doing. This is my first time looking through a lot of this more in detail. Because, like, you know, when the whole thing is in Japanese, it's like, well, you don't really feel like exploring around in the menus. But when you do have some English to go by, then it's much more encouraging. Or at least for me, anyway. Okay, so that's good. So this is not needing any work. That's great. Okay. Building materials is already done. Fantastic. Food. Done. That's good. That's green. Like I said, I'm going through with the recording going as I'm having a look through just to see what's ahead for me. Just so I know what I'm getting myself into. You know, in for, I should say. Oh, now there's an extra entry in the journal. Okay. It's probably like, entered the dungeon or something like that. The rule book is a to be continued. But remember, these two, I've done all of it, but I need to do all these, and there's many entries in them. You go here even, some are simple. But some are like menus in menus. It's all talking about dungeon making and like tips for like how to do dungeons. This game goes into a level of detail for a lot of sections that the previous two games didn't have, where they just had little bits where maybe you see some of it maybe an NPC would show you that information, or you'd only gain it from like one location or one menu, and then there'd be a little bit somewhere else. In this one, they go much more in depth, give you a lot more stuff. It's great. It's just that it's all in Japanese and limited in letters, so that's the sucky part. But it's interesting uncovering it all as I go through this project. Anyway, and that's just in game notes or something. That one won't take long at all. Now, here is an extra option that pops up once you go to the dungeon. I don't know what this actually means. Oh, actually, yes I do. It's the option screen. So, just the game options, you know. It'd be very interesting to see what this all does. If only there was an option here to change the language to English, and if that's all I had to do. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And then this is looking about the same as it always was. So this is good, this doesn't need any more work. So there's that. Then we've got this process. So once we actually get into combat, we've got the first pop-up about combat that comes up. Oh, it's combat music. I never even noticed the last time. Then you unlock the ability to do AP attacks, so like power-up attacks. So we've got our first initial information pop up about that. So that needs translating. And an additional pop-up is probably about experience or item drops or something. I'm just guessing. Interesting thing here is that sometimes there's 2 enemies, and some other times when I come here there's 3. It kind of varies on every time I come here. Like to do this bit just to see what it is. Yeah, so up on the top left of the map, that needs translating around here. I'll translate that. Then we have this that comes up. And whatever the game is saying to us there, I have no idea, but we will discover this in time. We've got just the thing saying here, go to the dungeon. That would have to say go to the dungeon, or something like that. And like I've been saying, I refer to the previous games always with this kind of stuff. I don't just go with what this game has as the wording. I want to keep it consistent with how it's named in the rest. For the reasons I said before, because sometimes it's not just a literal translation. Sometimes they actually use different, on purpose, like different terms for things, different words for it, you know? So it's important to keep that consistent, I think, to keep consistency between the games. You know, like if you're going to play a Fallout game, I know that's totally different to this type of thing. You know, if there's naming differences, you're like, hey, but that item was called different in that other game I played. And this time I'm going a little bit more in detail as I go around this dungeon. Well, the ruins. I keep thinking dungeon. A different thing that this game does over the other two is it has you walk around this ruins section before you go off to the dungeon itself, so there's an extra layer on top. In the other ones, you would just go straight to the dungeon. Now, I've discovered through reading the rulebook entries that you do actually gain the option. So right now we're in the ruins, and then we're going to talk to, I don't know who it is, but there's someone over this way. Once I translate the text, I'll be able to know who they are. But you talk to someone over here, and then we go down into the dungeon itself. Now, that's the first, and you know, then you go home and then you rest. And that's the whole way that the first day goes in this game. But then after that point, you know how I came to the ruins and there was that option, go ruins? There'll be more options on that thing. There'll be one saying go dungeon, you know, or go to the dungeon. So that's something that's going to become available later. So we don't even have to come to these ruins, we can just skip and just go straight to the dungeon itself if we so choose to. Just interesting finding out about this game's systems and things as I translate more of it, and it's like translating a book in a way, you know? It's like once you know the contents page, then the whole thing, all of a sudden, now you know a basis, a structure from which to work from. So I look forward to knowing what in the hell who this is, and is this an orb? I'd like, is it again you? I don't know. I look forward to finding this out. All this. I don't know what they're saying. But I can't wait to find out. I'm really interested to find out this stuff. And then we got another pop-up. And another pop-up. Now I know already from my testing, if you so choose to, you can call the... They don't just automatically pop up. Now you actually get to... Oh, change. What's change to? Oh, you get to change between them. Oh, okay. Yeah. You can this time around you can actually control the person directly with whoever that is. And then I think once we have them on our side, oh, that's actually opened up a new menu option as well. So here's even more stuff to do. They have their own menu. Oh, okay, it's like the menu options in the previous one. So I'm guessing this is like combat options of like what type of AI you want to give them. Like how aggressive they'll be, will they cast spells, will they just assist you? I'm guessing. As I said, good thing working on this thing, even though I am a complete beginner at doing ROM hacks, like translation things, I have points of reference to refer back to with previous games, where you wouldn't have this option if you were doing the first entry or the only entry in a franchise, you know? At least with this, I have a point that I can refer back to and go, oh, that is what it was called in the previous game. Oh, this is what was happening at this point in time. So like, at least I kind of know I kind of have an idea of what's going on. So at least when you've got the beginning of something, then it can help you. And we get even more pop-up. As you're seeing, I've got a lot of work ahead of me. This is going to be a lot of stuff to do. Even just getting it so that even to this point is in English is going to take ages. And all those menus and stuff that you've just seen already. Anyway, but bring it on, I'll get this done. And then we go to the dungeon for the first time. Another pop-up. And another one. And then when we go to place our first room, we get another pop-up. Place our first hallway. And then the assistant person, whoever they are, says something. I have no idea what they're saying. And then we have additional options to choose from. So we already gained a couple. That's options, isn't it? No, oh, that's right, that's the orb or menu, whatever it is. But now we actually have this one for... I don't know what this is. I'm guessing it's build dungeon information or something. God, there's so much stuff. Okay. BM I know is building materials. That's part of what I already translated. Okay. This is going to be really interesting to translate. Yeah, so... I'm just trying to take you, just trying to think this out. There's just so much stuff here, dude. Okay, and then as you're placing stuff, that too has its own... menus and stuff that you translate. And here we have another rulebook entry. Oh, okay, so this is where this comes in. Okay. Yeah, but that's the basics. Then when you've had enough placing stuff for the day, we then return back. Later on, you'll have more floors to choose from that you can go to. But this game doesn't, at least I don't think it does, doesn't let you just leave the dungeon straight away. Well, you'll probably cast a spell and do it. There is a spell to do it as well. Like if we go in here, there's return, and then that would send us straight back home. But once you're finished, say you want to go the long way, then you would have this, and this would be something like return to town. And then you would say, okay. And then we would return back here. And there's probably a whole bunch of more conversations. Yep, new conversations. Oh, that's right, yeah, because you go here and you speak to her and the creature shows up, or thing, whatever it is. A whole bunch of stuff happens, I don't know what. Then some random dude shows up that looks like a pirate. Probably want a cracker. That's a very long conversation. That is going to take a very long amount of time. And then we have... And then we'll gain access to the interface finally to actually sell stuff. I think it's like selling research data. So whenever you discover and... I don't know if it's discover and defeat or just discovering new monsters, then you gain research data that you can come back and gain money for. So you'd go, I just took on some plant monsters at the ruins. Please give me money for that. You know? And then she'd be like, yep. I think she gives you like 3,000 gold or something. Yep. Let me see if there's any other new conversation. Yep. Yep. Building materials person. Oh, okay. So the menu is now unlocked to buy materials. Market. Yep, new conversation there. But this is for phase 2. So remember this. What you're seeing right now, it's going to be a little while until I get to this, because even doing the dungeon is going to take ages. And more here too. Ooh. Oh, that shows up there too. Interesting. Oops. Oh, he's got more to say too. Give me rude again. A much longer conversation that time. And... oh, she has some new stuff to say too. And then we also, now, I haven't translated this yet, but you end every day through coming here. I know what that is from translating the rulebook. That's your mailbox. So, we go through here, we can prepare a meal, and then end the day. I think that's this option? Yeah. And you say, yes, I want to make the meal, get the upgrade, and then... I think that's end the day. Which takes us to the end of the day. So, as you can see, there's quite a bit of work left ahead. But the fact that we even have this now to the point that you can know what you're doing right up until the point when you leave to go to the ruins is fantastic. And marks a major milestone in this project. Alright, so that is devlog number 4. In the next one, you'll probably see more of the dungeon translated. Or ruins, I should say. How much of that? I don't know. I'll see how much time it takes me. But that is the progress of things. Just wanted to showcase what it is, because I'm really happy that I finally got that far. Alright. So guys, have a good one. Stay tuned for more future updates. Of note, if you want to see more like in-depth stuff done, like videos on very specific aspects on when I complete more smaller things, you can check me out on Patreon, because I will be doing that at a later point for the much smaller ones. So if you want to see like when one specific thing gets done, like for example when I was doing the town, as I completed each building type and going through them much more in depth of how they work, then that's what that'll be covered. But as for the YouTube side of things, this is where I'll be doing the devlogs, where you get more of an overview of everything that's done. Alright, so anyways, as I said, that is devlog number 4 done. Guys, have a good one. Take care.